Yo, it's Art of Cards TCG, and we're going to be talking about Pokemon cards today, specifically Megas. Megas have been doing some crazy stuff today, and so we're going to go through the Pokemon Legends ZA leaks, kind of talk about what Mega Pokemon are coming, and then existing Mega Pokemon that are seeing a little bit of resurgence in popularity. And then we'll take a look at what that resurgence is. Is it a pump and dump situation where people are clearing out inventory so they can sell it at a higher market price? Kind of fictitiously raising the price, or is it really a sought-after card? We're going to take a look. I managed to get a M Gardevoir full art from Steam Siege, I believe, for like $32 about a month ago. And now it's well over 60 some odd dollars. We'll take a look at that. I also put on here we'll go through a few examples of possibly some good deals. Take a look at that. And there's a Charizard on here, one on the cheaper end. But everybody knows Charizard continues to grow. Pokemon Legends ZA leak reveals full list of new Mega Evolutions. So revealed, allegedly, 27 new Mega Evolutions that will be in the game ZA. Does ZA mark the end of Scarlet Violet in the new era of X and Y redo? I don't know. Could ZA be the end of the Scarlet Violet era and then going into the new era? If you look at games like Sword and Shield, it coincided with Sword and Shield. Scarlet Violet coincided with Scarlet Violet. And now we have Legends ZA. Is this a game within the era of Pokemon, or is it the new era? That's the one thing that I really haven't seen anything very specific on. And if I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments so I can correct how I say that going forward. But they're going to return to Lumiose, one of the settings of Pokemon X and Y. End of Mega Evolutions, arguably my favorite era is X and Y. It really had the coming of a new style, would later evolve into special illustration rares, and things like that, which that kind of like was the stepping stone in that era of new Pokemon art, which I actually really like and adore because you get to experience a lot of unique artistic kind of perceptions of these Pokemon and how they would ultimately be in the wild, which I think is very cool. So, one of the franchise's most popular gimmicks, players are eagerly awaiting to find out which new Megas will be in the game. I don't like the word gimmick. Gimmick implies that when I think of a gimmick, it's a tool used to kind of manipulate somebody into doing something or getting something. I don't think that that's the case. Yes, it's a strategy. It's a tool used because we like Megas, but to call it a gimmick is a little bit, I think, much, right? Game rant. It's game rant, so take it or leave it. Previous Pokemon Legends ZA leaks have teased what players can expect from this aspect of the game, such as the surprising fact that Victory Bell will have a Mega Evolution. Victory Bell, honestly, really cool Pokemon with a lot of opportunity for some really cool artworks. It does look like a fleshlight, if you know, you know, but I will say, like, it deserves a time in the spotlight, and we'll talk about every region in here as we scroll down. What I think might be popular, going to be the chases, things like that. I could be completely wrong. So the appearance of Starmie will have a Mega Evolution and change the appearance of Starmie, which is going to be interesting because Starmie is kind of having a little bit of a resurgence here with the Destined Rivals and Heatwave Arena with Misty swimming with it, and I think it's absolutely stunning artwork. It's probably going to be one of the chase cards in Destined Rivals. Chestnut, don't care. Delphox is kind of cool, and I love Greninja. It's one of my favorite Pokemon, so to see another fighting type like Lucario get a Mega Evolution is pretty legit for me. Alright, let's scroll down. So we'll get into the full leak here. From the Kanto region, Clefable That's a fan favorite, obviously. Starmie, I think, is very good. Victory Bell, very cool to see. And of course, Dragonite, always been a Dragonite fan. I think a lot of people are. To see Dragonite in that Mega Evolution. There's Delphox. Delphox is cool too. I just don't think it's super huge. It's going to be very cool. And like I said, Clefable is a fan favorite, I think. From the Johto region, Mega Magnium, I don't think is going to have a lot of hype there. Mega Feraligatr will, because Feraligatr, once again, is a fan favorite. And Feraligatr's had some really cool artworks over the years. In fact, one of my favorite Feraligatrs is from the E-Series Expedition, and I have it, the holo version of it. I think it's just totally undervalued, underrated. Skarmory, I'm not big on the bird type, and I'm definitely not big on metals. Sinnoh is going to be Frostlass. I don't think that Frostlass is kind of that big of a chase, and if you can kind of read the writing on the wall with a lot of these, you're going to see that they purposely, I think, are picking Pokemon that don't have a huge base, so they may not get the scarcity FOMO that we have right now in the current market. Unova, not my favorite. I'm not a big fan of Emboar or Scolipede. Excadrill, not so much. Electros is kind of cool. Scrafty, I think, is cool in its artwork, but not very many people like it. And Chandelure is kind of, Chandelure is right here. And it's just kind of a lame Pokemon, in my opinion. Lame-looking Pokemon. In the Kalos region, we're going to see probably some chases here. Delphox, Greninja, Pyroar, Hawlucha, Zygarde. Very cool Pokemon to see as Megas. One thing that I'm interested in knowing is, like, I know all of these are going to drop into the game, but if this is the end of Scarlet Violet, will all of this be incorporated into one set? Or is it going to be the start of a new era and these are going to be dropping in different sets? If they drop in different sets, sure, you're going to see a little more, I guess, excitement for some of these other Pokemon because you're not going to get them all. But I would hate to put all these mega Pokemon in there to go up against a big hitter like, for instance, Greninja or Clefable, Dragonite. You're going to see all these other cards not do well when you have some pretty big names in there. So I think from a strategy standpoint, they should release the Megas, if they're going to be in separate sets, in kind of, Kanto Johto, right? Sinnoh, Unova, Kalos, Alolan, and Galar on the same, because Alolan Mega Drampa is only one, and then you got Phalanx, which is Galar, and one. You could probably loop that in with Kalos, because Kalos has a pretty decent amount of Megas that are coming into play there. And also, just from an artwork standpoint, that's what I'm talking about, but from a playability standpoint, any of these Pokemon could be really good, depending on, what the meta is, or what a Mega abilities, things like that have. It definitely is going to play a role in from the playing standpoint, which generates value in its own, outside of the fact that the card art is something that people seek as well. So that's pretty much it for that. So let's go into TCG Player. I was taking a look at some Mega Pokemon on here. I want to take a look at it. The first one on the list here is $22.99 in Light Play, but let's see what the Near Mint. Near Mint sometimes is cheaper for some reason than Light Play, and when that's the case, I like to look at a few different aspects of it. Like, do we have pictures? Here's a Near Mint one, 2 sales, $14.99 with $4. Don't really have a back view on it. The centering is pretty good, actually, but I don't have the back view. It's really going to determine, is this a binder collector, or are we talking about, grading and flipping for value and things like that? And not a lot of other things on here. You got Mega Pidgeot down here. So one thing that I look at when I look at what the market value is, I want to know how much the current quantity is and how many current sellers there are. So if we look at like a 3-month snapshot, let me just click on it, and we take a look at, how many are being purchased all at once. So this is probably going to be a good buy, because I'm not showing the last 3 months a bunch of cards being sold to one person. So this would be one of those things where I wouldn't consider this a pump and dump. Houndoom, definitely a favorite. It's sort of a full art, kind of, but it's definitely very cool artwork, and you're getting it for a sub 20. So it kind of, in January would have been a good buy at 9.20. And then it kind of spiked up to 17, and then it dipped again, and it spiked back up to 18.13, which is fourth sold this week, actually. So, and then we might see it drop a little. So watch for the drop, and we'll see what that looks like. But 18, 19 bucks for a near mint copy, or if you go to Light Play and see if there's people with pictures, which there's not. So, here's one for 19. Light wear on the back. So you got to just be careful with these, because that, in my opinion, is not, that's going on moderate play. There's a ton of edge wear on this thing, especially up here in the top hand left corner. Could you message somebody to give you a back picture like that one that had good front centering? This person, excellent front centering as well, too. It's a little heavy left to right, but I think it's well within the tolerances for a 10. So those are the things you got to keep an eye on with stuff like this. If you're just collecting to have the Mega Pokemon, then, cool. If you keep going here, no more pictures. So be careful. If I were to pick a product here, I'd probably go with this near mint down here for $14.99. I know there's only 2 sales, but sometimes you got to give those people a chance, especially if they post the picture. Like, this person's posting 0 sales with no picture. That's one thing that started for me when I started selling on TCG Player. So if you're interested in cards, I got a bunch on there, priced very competitively. But a lot of like the big hitters, I'm going to put pictures. But I got 100% right now with 41 sales. And when I put near mint, it's near mint. So that is what it is. Houndoom, probably a good buy. I always like to put like big 3s if they got them in here, and in kind of, let's go to near mint. Near mint, 20 bucks here. It's not technically one of like the Houndoom, had a little bit more full artsy going on with it. Blastoise is a little less going on with this stuff, but Blastoise is a fan favorite. So is Venusaur, and we got a Charizard up here as well. Taking a look at this, $10. It's basically doubled in price, so nothing at 19.17. So roughly about a doubling in price, plus 80%, 82 overall. And we only have 11 of these cards, right? So we're looking at what that looks like. How many cards are available? Attrition in the markets, which raises the value of the cards. So if you came in here and you bought a couple of them, you're going to create less product, more want, and so therefore the market price goes up. So we look on here again, no person buying out everything. $5.99, that would have been a good deal. So you're looking at it like that. That's probably going to be a good buy. You got any pictures down here? We do. $27. This person has, what is that? 96.8%. That is, I want to know what's going on with that. And it probably has something to do with shipping. Not putting them in top loaders or whatever the case may be. And let's take a look at the back. Oh yeah, that card's in fantastic shape for 27 bucks. The problem is, and left and right looks pretty good. The problem is you have 96.8%, 40 sales. So you are doing something wrong. So if I got this really nice looking card and it comes to me just in a sleeve, in an envelope, like anything over 20 bucks, I send it shipping in a bubble mailer with tracking. I take a loss on shipping because of it, but like you're buying an expensive card. I'm going to make sure it gets to you the way the picture looked. This probably what this person's issue is, which is unfortunate. So I wouldn't, even when there's pictures there, I wouldn't buy it with a 96. I don't really go much below 99.5. Here's a PSA 9 for 139. That's not bad. I probably do some surface cleaning on it and send it in. $69.99 for that person. You got to be careful with some of these people. This person, Renaissance Man, probably a good buy there at $20. Moving on, we got Venusaur on this one. Venusaur, another very competitive priced Pokemon at $16.86. So normally that's how the prices go. Venusaur, Blastoise, Charizard, and Charizard's like, whoa, to the moon. But 22 on here on the quantity. It's on a steady grow here. Right now is probably a good time to buy this card between this this price point. $16.86 with $1.99 shipping, 100% 12 sales. River Card Shop's probably okay. Like, once again, you can message people for pictures, and hopefully they do it. I would do it. $15 right here, $4.99. Kind of probably go with the 16. It would be my bet here. We got an 8.5 for 22. Unless it's a 10, I probably would. Or 9, I wouldn't mess with it. 8.5, you might be able to get it to where it gets to. Let's see, actually. What's the issues on the pictures? If my internet corners. Surface is a 9, so yeah, I probably wouldn't do this. If surface was low and these other things were 9 or 10s, I'd get it, because then you might be able to get it up to a 10 if you just clean off, any dirt particles and things like that on the card surface, and make sure there's no scratching. This is a very, very cool card. I probably am going to get this one because I like Gardevoir. Let's see if I can get it in the near mint. $20. I love the color work on here. This is not the one that I have, but I thought about getting it. And we're showing a heavy dip here too. You might want to watch that dip here and kind of price this out a little bit. 24 sales, or 24 cards, 21 sellers, all around that 98.8, man. Like, you can't be doing that. You cannot. 94%. Like, Jesus. People probably ain't buying from you, dude. Like, if you don't start off well, you're going to be in bad shape. So this one down here for 19 with pictures. I know it's a white background, but it still looks pretty good. I'd watch this card. I'm personally not going to purchase it yet. I'm going to see if it continues to fall, because honestly, it's not going to be a thing that I resell as it goes up. It's just going to go in my binder, just because I like the artwork and I like Gardevoir. Mega Mawile right here, damage foil. I hate that they do that. So we got a couple near mints. Let's look at some light plays. We got 5 of them. Near mints are going crazy. And this card, again, on a steady trajectory up, kind of leveled off right here. 7. There's only 7 of these cards available right now. 6. And that's why the value for the near mint is high, because even though it's above the market value, there's only 4 of them. And if they're... Nope, I hate that. If I'm going to be spending $50, I want to see a picture of it. Like, you can gamble, take the risk, and hope for the best. I mean, 100%, though, I mean, it's probably a good buy. But I would try this light play, even though there's nothing here. It's a fraction of the price. $24 right here for $2,500. I would ask Unique Emporium to send me some pics. But if we look at more data, once again, I mean, it's just ones and twos. Not a lot of people clearing out the inventory. I would probably, if you bought all of these and they were all pretty much close to near mint, you could probably double, triple your costs there if you're looking to sell. And Gardevoir right here. This is the one that I got for $30 some odd, like $31 near mint. And near mint is right around that $63 market value. I bought it back here like $31 on eBay, and it's just been skyrocketing. No pictures though. Oh, here's one. $75. Let's take a look. Let's see if it's really near mint. So centering is Fantastic. That front looks okay. I can see something a little bit right there. Right there. See that? That could just be from the mat, but I don't know. And then let's take a look at the back. This is near mint, but not near mint 9, mint 10. This is probably going to get an 8, 8.5 because of that right there. So I would not pay $75 for this card. Nope. Nope. I got him when the get was good, apparently. But again, another fantastic artwork. And if you really love Gardevoir, right, this M Gardevoir right here too, from the Radiant collection from Generations. It's expensive though. And I also have this Steelix that I got for like $12. That's now 33 near mint. And then our last card on the video here before we close it out is just an M Charizard. This is the Charizard from the kind of the cheaper end Charizard here. But like I said earlier, the price of Charizard just grows. I mean, I feel like it never. The 151 Charizard took a pretty steep dip, but it's going back up again. So I think it's because the reprint that was going out, those 6-pack bundles that everybody's been getting at like GameStop and stuff, and the Blooming Waters and things like that, driving the prices down because there's more availability out there. A steady rise here, 51% increase. You bought this card at the beginning or end of January, it would have been a good buy. You're kind of leveling off here at 48. 49.57 is the market price. And then current quantity is only 10 of them. So if you look at the here, you got $50 the picture, $100 of the picture. And nobody really is buying everything out. They're all ones and twosies, or ones. So you're not looking at a pump and dump situation. That's what I like to look at. Make sure it's not a pump and dump situation. We got one for 85 with pictures. Let's take a look at that. Wow, that's some really good centering for an X and Y card. And take a look at the back. Yeah, that's not near, like, it's near mint, sure, because near mint encompasses 8 all the way to 9.5. And then 10 being mint. I get that that's near mint, but I want a shot at a 10 here if I'm going to pay $85, double market value, like all this scratching and stuff. Like that's going to keep it from getting a 10. So I'm not paying $85 for a card that has a market value of 49 just to not get a 10. It ain't that good. But it also could be this person listed this a while ago and hasn't updated $150. Like, get out of here. No real pictures on there. So let's just check real quick for light play pictures. Also around that $45 range. This one's $35 for market price. And we got a light play here for $35 with pictures. Let's take a look at that. Centering is quite a bit off left to right. But it's definitely off in the back. That's more like the X and Y quality control right there. A couple little spots, but honestly, the back is better than that $85 one. This probably will maybe get a 9, maybe an 8, 8.5. So, but would you rather pay $35 for an 8, 8.5, 9 than $85? Like I'd pay the $35. But that's it. That's going to do it for today. We're taking a look at Megas. We took a look at the brand new Z-8 game and the Megas that they're going to introduce. Tell me what you're excited for down in the comments. Are you excited for Greninja, Zygarde, Clefable? Any one of those Pokemon I think will be cool. And the nature of the artwork these days is definitely excellent for a majority of the cards. So pretty excited for that to come out. When you're taking a look at TCG Blair, take a look at the pictures. Take a look at the 3-month snapshot. See how these cards are going. When you see a video and somebody saying, get these cards now, and there's like 600 of them available, I mean, you're going to see pump and dumps. That's why it's rising. You see the dips and stuff. So I'm Cards CCG. Appreciate the view. Please like, subscribe, and as always, I will see you on the next one.